Welcome back to another review, and today we're going to be reviewing Goodfellas. This 1990 film by Martin Scorsese is my favorite mob movie, and I think a lot of people like it too, as their favorite. Or you could say The Godfather is, which I'll be reviewing Godfather 1 next week, so look forward to that. And this is a new series I'm doing called Mob Movie Mondays. You get a different genre in there because we're about to start the horror film reviews again tomorrow, so it's a little break in between it. So let's start with the actors. So Ray Liotta playing Henry Hill. Rest in peace. I know that's not recent news. He passed like 3 years ago, but he's great. You know, Henry is kind of a prick in this film. A lot of times, but it's all really his perspective. I mean, obviously this story is based on like a true story. So it's not all fiction, but yeah, Ray Liotta's been in a lot of stuff though. Like Tommy Vercetti. He also played in that sequel to Silence of the Lambs, Field of Dreams, and I think Eighth Man Out, that one baseball movie. He played Shoeless Joe Jackson. He was in a lot of great stuff. I think the last film that released with him in it was what was it, Cocaine Bear, which very goofy. Kind of sad that Ray Liotta went out that legacy, but he wasn't that bad. It's kind of campy movie. He wasn't that bad in the role, but. Talking about our second character, my favorite character in this movie, Jimmy Conway, played by Robert De Niro. I'm pretty sure you know De Niro, but so he's in Casino, right? Another great mafia movie. Him and Joe Pesci, who's the last actor we're going to talk about. And he was in another really funny films, Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents, then Meet the Fockers, and the third one, I think. He's just supposed to be in the fourth one that's coming out next year. And let's see. He was in Godfather 2, Taxi Driver. Just a bunch of great films. So, now that that's out of the way, well, still got Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci, co-starred in Casino. And was in Home Alone. That's how I got introduced to him. A very funny actor. Very great in the role. He plays this very intimidating role as Tommy in the movie. So in one scene, you probably know this. We'll talk about scenes now that I really like. When they're at that bar and Henry calls Tommy a funny guy, and Tommy's like, "How am I funny? Define funny. Do I amuse you?" And he starts and he almost pulls, and it gets really tense, And it's stuff like that. The shots and how he's kind of unpredictable, how he could fly off on Henry at any moment and stuff. He also goes on later in the film to kill Billy Batts. So Billy Batts was this guy that was being antagonizing him, busting his balls, and he told him go get your shine box, and then Tommy just beats his head in. Then they bury him. So that's another scene you probably seen from the film. Yeah. And now let's talk about the soundtrack real quick. Ignore that. So let's talk about the soundtrack real quick. So Layla by Derek and the Dominoes plays the piano version of that, which is what you probably know. The scene where all the people. I did say that right, Derek and the Dominoes. If I didn't, correct me. There were the people that did the heist, helped Jimmy with a Lufthansa heist. He's capping them one by one. You got Carbone in the meat freezer, which is probably the most I think the most iconic of them. You got where he kills Maury, stab him in the back of the neck, and then that's before the montage. You got the roast beef guy and his wife or whatever in the car, in their pink car they're bragging about. Just it's a really, really great scenes, and let's talk about the whole plot synopsis. So the movie follows Henry Hill's life from when he was a teenager, starting to get with the mob, putting parking cars for people. Then when they do robberies, that was kind of not set up, but the truckers would tip him off and stuff. And we see him slowly rise to ranks. He meets Karen, his wife. There's a scene where she almost shoots him because she finds that he cheated, which is one of the more iconic scenes in my opinion. Very tense. And overall, it's a very fun movie to get in. It's a good movie. To me, it's shocking. The scene is probably the most iconic, the most shocking of this film. I say iconic a lot. But, so, basically, Tommy walks into the room, he thinks he's about to get made, and they hit him, they shoot him in the back of the head, and he's like, oh, and he knows, oh no. That was shocking to me when I first watched Goodfellas about 3-4 years ago. So, and I've watched this almost every year. It still gets me, not really because I know what's going to happen, but just the look how he knows. He knows. The big empty room, yeah. So then you got Jimmy starting to spiral out. That's why he starts capping people. Not only that, or no, that happened after. Must have got that mixed up. Then he kind of like, he gets paranoid afterwards. And that's why he almost tries to ice Karen when she goes to see him. You know, go to that dress shop just down the road, the sidewalk. And then, of course, the ending is Henry snitches, goes into witness protection, and that's it. This movie, I'll tell you this: if you want to get into a mob movie with like the full the full spectrum of comedy, you know, shocking scenes, characters. Now, you could argue that the Godfather's characters are better, but those movies are really long, and I really like them. They're classics. They're in the greatest films of all time category. But they're long films. It's hard to get through them all, especially if you binge them. I would love to sit down one day and just binge all 3 of them for a 9-hour watching experience. But, you know, I'm probably going to be watching them separate for the reviews coming up. But I'm going to try to binge them eventually. But what would I rate Goodfellas? So, let's go by one by one. Directing by Martin Scorsese. 10 out of 10. Some of the camera angles he does, you know, the way it shows you like the meat, like the carbone in the meat truck scene where he's like hanging by the meat hook in the back where he's all frozen over, as it slowly like pulls past all like the carcasses of the beef and stuff and shows him. Great scene. And so directing 10 out of 10, acting 10 out of 10. You got Joe Pesci, very funny actor, very great actor. You got Ray Liotta, who's been in so many great things. You can really tell he does really great when you can see Henry being nervous because he's been on the cocaine and all that. And then Robert De Niro plays Jimmy as he's spiraling out. Really great, you know, kind of smug sometimes. Love it. Great leads, great film. Side characters, 10 out of 10. Karen, Paulie, Carbone, Spider when he gets shot by Tommy, you know? I'd say 10 out of 10. There's nothing really there's nothing bad about this film at all. It's good pacing for being a 2-hour film, and it's a good watch. So if you ever want to watch a mafia movie but not like a long one, if you get into it, I'd say check out Goodfellas. But until I see you guys again, I love you guys. Stay blessed. Take care.